Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at SUI, see what's going on. It is performing as SUI typically does, pumping and potentially dumping here. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with the price action. It looks like it's not responding too well to Bitcoin pulling back and was a bit late to the party with Bitcoin kind of increasing. So again, not loving the price action here. I don't really want to condone trading this coin at this point, just based on some patterns that are forming here that I don't really like. But more importantly, just in general, it's too high of a risk to take a trade with how volatile this coin has been behaving. So just kind of throwing it out there. No discredit to you and your favorite coin. I know that's probably why you're watching. But the truth is I'm always going to shoot you straight, let you know whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. At this point, it's kind of ugly. There's no other way around it. Okay, so let's take a look and see if we can make any sense of these charts and kind of go from there. And once more, just kind of preface, I'd like to kind of avoid these coins if I can, just based on how volatile it's being right now. Anyways, we took some nice profits on a Bitcoin long from yesterday, 31%. If you saw my Bitcoin analysis, you'll know why we took that trade. Same thing with Dogecoin too. They both just had really strong bullish presence. And now that we're here, again, SUI responding pretty well to the CPI data, essentially providing some good results for most markets. You can see Bitcoin pumped and SUI did as well, but it's pulling back harder than Bitcoin is. So again, when you see that kind of pairing, for folks, is generally not favorable. Okay, so let's go and take a look at liquidation and recognize on the back end here that we have 420, 380, 360, still more liquidation on the downside. We're pretty much smack dab in the middle of it though. There's not much to really incentivize us to be like, okay, we're going to be hitting this level because the liquidation is there. We're a ways away. So unless we travel into the low $420 range, we won't have too much to worry about. But just to throw it out there, 420 does have, I don't know, 2 or 3 billion in liquidation between 410 and 420 right there. Okay, so just know that we get closer to 420, a liquidation sweep, a little extra candlewick down would make sense. And the reason why this is relevant and helpful for you is because if we do get to that level, you can set some limit orders in those ranges, and oftentimes you get filled and the price goes right back up. So that's usually what we like to look for. But again, right now, I would recommend avoiding leverage at all cost here with this coin. It's just super volatile. While you might have caught a cool little pump there from 450 to 470, and you're posting about it on social media, that was mostly luck because of how bearish the patterns have been and how bearish the overall analysis is for this coin. It makes very little sense to take along at this exact moment. Okay, and again, I'm just paraphrasing based on yesterday's analysis. It could change here in just a few minutes if we look and see some significant shifts in momentum. But I'm just basing this on just the recent volatility. It's not really just responding as good as it should. For like a professional trader to try to trade this coin, right? I don't want to trade it personally, and there's a reason for it, and I'll explain here in a minute. Once more, that was based on yesterday. Let's go ahead and see today if there's any difference. People are heavy at 450 and 465. So those are two areas to pay attention to. Let's take a look at the daily and work our way down. See if there's anything kind of letting us know here. Keep in mind, the macro is breaking bearish, but it's not there yet, okay? What I mean by that is we're still over the 50-day SMA, but we're having trouble staying and maintaining above the 20, okay? If you can be above the 20-day SMA, then you're usually in good shape. Typically, those are the kind of trades you want to take to the upside. For right now, it doesn't make a ton of sense. That's, at 470 is working pretty strong as a resistance range. Having said that, we're maintaining above 50 on the RSI still, okay? So we haven't broken bearish by any stretch, but we're getting close. So just keep that in mind. We're kind of like on the edge of, I wouldn't say disaster because that's not really the right word for it, but we're definitely not on the edge of greatness. It's whatever the opposite of that is, okay? So just know that that's a thing, okay? That's the daily time frame. And again, this coin's probably getting hit the hardest just based on the simple fact that there's tons of profit left remaining on it. Most other coins, altcoins, went down substantially recently, where SUI didn't pull back as hard as the majority of other altcoins. So that's good. It's just not recovering quite as well as it usually does too, and that's an important thing to recognize. 4-hour time frame, let's see here. We got some confluence here, which is good, but also bad depending on how you look at it. So first of all, if you watch my videos at any length, you'll know that being above the 20-day SMA is an important factor. That's why this descending trend line here kind of basically letting us know that we're above that trend. So good news is SUI has broken free from its descending trend line. So further upside is more practical or should be expected based on Bitcoin maintaining its 99K range or going higher. Bitcoin starts running back down though to like 97, 96, 95K. It might be a different story altogether, okay? So please understand that. But for the moment, SUI is looking good because Bitcoin is too. Please know that. Generally speaking, though, SUI rarely relies on Bitcoin. It typically does its own thing. Lately, it's been 2x of Bitcoin to the downside and like half x to the upside minus this recent pump because we had some really good CPI data, right? So just some things to be mindful of. Anyways, we're over 50 on the RSI here, tentatively a positive sign. Money flow index is high. Of course, that's including this most recent significant candle and the last 14, which are all been pretty bullish. And then MACD is converging. So the 4-hour time frame does look pretty good. The only thing I don't love here is that we're still under the 50-day SMA. So closing above this obvious little resistance range would be very helpful. Okay, you can kind of see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to try to break that. 475 is holding like a champ. No, you shall not pass, essentially, right? We got Gandalf kind of saying, hey, you can't get past this level. All right, so Ichimoku cloud, we take a look, we can see we're over all moving averages, or sorry, we're above the cloud rather. Conversion line and baseline are intersecting. That tells us momentum is funky and you don't generally want to take a trade. Lagging span is free and clear, but it's kind of messy. It looks like it's traveling into the price action there a little bit. So while this is more positive than negative and there's slightly more inclination for the price to go up than down, it's all contingent on Bitcoin, right? Because look at how poorly SUI did here in the last 4 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4. We saw a correction from top to bottom at 4%. Bitcoin, you see this here? It's pulled back 1%. All right. So again, 4% correction for SUI versus a 1% correction for Bitcoin, and you can see how Bitcoin is recovering here, where SUI is struggling to do so. All right, so again, that's not a very good pairing. So me personally, if I were to consider taking a long right now, I'd watch it close. I'd make sure that I set targets that are realistic and not get into the woods here with this coin. But I don't like what I see here. Generally speaking, this is a type of bearish pattern, and commonly you're going to see these break to the downside. And let's do yellow, and again, just generally speaking, something like this will break to the downsides because what it does is it works itself into a descending channel and then continues to break lower. So this is significantly a bearish sign here, but again, just throwing it out there, you don't trade on patterns alone, right? But just know that exists. I'll include that on our playout chart. I'll post that on our Twitter, Telegram, or Discord. It looks a little something like that. Whoops, nope, sorry. Looks like this here. And I always post, playout charts and obviously links to my videos too there, along with other relevant data. Last but not least, if you want to become part of our trading community, academy, signals group, whatever, link down below, cryptocash.tech. Just make sure you read through our trade alerts. I'm providing you with specific details on coins that we take trades with. For example, I gave you a heads up on Dogecoin and Bitcoin trades that we took yesterday, right? Those are important. You need to know that. Same thing with Signals Guide too. Obviously read through this. Anytime you take a trade of mine, you should always use your own risk tolerance. And these are some guidelines here to kind of just what to expect and how to interpret it, okay? All right, folks. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.